This is Don Henry.
I am a vampire. I do consume human blood. There is a real live community that exists not only within the States, but also throughout the world.
The Vampire Court of Austin is essentially a town hall for all of Austin's awakened vampires, otherkin, and human supporters or black swans that assist us with our everyday life and what we do with the court as well. It's essentially a safe haven for anyone who applies and wants to be part of our kind of family style group to learn from each other.
But these aren't just a group of role players. They believe that they'll become ill if they spend too long in the sun or don't feed.
A lot of vampires experience sun sensitivity, and the theory with that is that the sun is such an intense form of energy, and as vampires we are very sensitive to energy because we have to feed from it. If you stop feeding for an extended period of time, you're probably going to get sick. I actually know someone who had a heart condition, and she stopped feeding for an extended period of time, and they told her she was going to die.
According to Henry, he and his kind do not prey on the innocent.
Well, these days we don't go ripping people's throats out or anything like that. We're quite mature with what we do. We keep things within doors. We don't go out searching for victims or anything like that.
We want to keep it as safe as possible, so we sterilize the blade, sterilize the site of the wound, and make sure we got bandages and all that stuff on standby. The donor makes the cut and any body part that they choose, and I take it.
So our donors are human. As far as how we do it, the most utilized court method that we promote is a lancet, which is an instrument that is utilized for people who are diabetic. All it does is prick the finger a few times, and we feed that way.
You don't want to go cutting into people with knives or anything, and I've heard horror stories of people doing that kind of thing, and I think it's very important that we educate people on how to do that very safely. There's no reason to go cutting and slicing when you could just have a tiny little pinprick on a fingertip.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that it's just a lifestyle, and it's just something that we decided one day, woke up and said, hey, I'm going to put on some black and some fangs to be a vampire. The only immortality that we believe in is what you leave behind.
Ingesting blood or donating it without the proper medical equipment is dangerous and can put you at risk of contracting infectious diseases like HIV and hepatitis.
But clearly, there are others who aren't so considerate. In 1985, a motorist traveling down a back road in Florida came across a young woman, handcuffed and partially clothed, barely able to walk. The victim was rushed to the local hospital, where Lieutenant Bob Lethero of the Brevard County Sheriff's Department was brought in on the case.
The doctors and the paramedics realized that she had lost a significant amount of blood and possibly could have passed away from exposure.
Just 19 years old, the girl had a terrifying story to tell.
She informed me that she was out on the roadway hitchhiking, and this gentleman picked her up. He looked very well dressed. He offered her a ride.
But once in the car, the driver overpowered her and choked her unconscious. It was then that the nightmare really began.
She woke up later on, unknown amount of time, and she was on a countertop in the kitchen. She was tied down, and the suspect was putting a needle, a syringe, into her arm and draining her blood out into a beaker.
But why?
He said that he was a vampire and that he drank of the blood.
The nightmare continued for hours. In between feedings, the kidnapper kept her handcuffed in the bathtub. It was through the bathroom window, still handcuffed, that she managed to escape onto the nearby road. The victim in this case got away, but others have not.